Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the channel. We had some breaking news today. An amazing bantamweight fight was just announced for UFC 268, which will happen November 6th in Madison Square Garden. We will get Frankie Edgar versus Marlon Vera, which is just another example of great matchmaking by the UFC. I think this fight makes perfect sense right now. But before we get into that fight, what I think about that fight, how does Sean O'Malley fit into all this, which I'm sure you're wondering. If you guys want to support the channel, you can now become a member. You can get access to loyalty badges, custom emojis for the comments, and you will also get exclusive behind the scenes videos and photos, which I'll be posting on the members only feed as some of you guys have already seen. If you've already signed up, thank you so much. If you haven't, you can become a member. The join button is down below, and you can also click on the link in the description. I greatly appreciate it. So back to the fight. You have number 13 Marlon Vera taking on number 8 Frankie Edgar. And I think this fight makes perfect sense because Marlon Vera is somebody who people have kind of wondered whether or not he can take that next step, crack into that top 10, and he needs a win over a big name. The UFC has already given him some decent fights. He fought Jose Aldo 2 fights ago, and he lost, obviously. Then he fought Davey Grant in his last fight, which was not the greatest performance by Vera. But again, he got the win, so that's all that really matters. And now he's going to fight Frankie Edgar. Frankie Edgar is coming off that brutal flying knee KO from Corey Sandhagen. But Corey Sandhagen is obviously one of the best bantamweights in the world, just coming off that fight with TJ Dillashaw now. Controversial decision. I personally thought he won. But Corey Sandhagen's a guy who's going to be in title contention at bantamweight for a while. But Frankie Edgar used to fight at lightweight, former lightweight champion, a big name. Marlon Vera, if he wants to take that next step, has to get a win over a big name and a guy ranked in the top 10. So the reason I brought Sean O'Malley into this, and I know, Sean O'Malley fanboys, the cult following, are going to want to kill me for this. But Marlon Vera, obviously, for somebody who doesn't know, defeated Sean O'Malley not that far back on the same card. I think it was Stipe DC3. He kicked his leg so hard that he could no longer walk. He had to be stretchered out of the cage. But before that, he flash KO'd him as well with ground and pound. But ever since then, there's been a constant back and forth between Vera and Sean O'Malley. Sean O'Malley obviously complaining that he shouldn't have lost and blah, blah, blah. We talked about it plenty on this channel, so I'm not going to get into it so much. But the reason I think that this is a big loss for Sean O'Malley, and if you guys follow my channel and you listen to my videos and you've been a part of live chats, you've heard me say this before. Frankie Edgar, well, first off, before I get to that, the bantamweight division is the best division in the UFC, in my opinion. I mean, you just look at the top 10, just stacked with killers. You have Petr Yan, who should be the champion, but he's not really. You have Aljamain Sterling. You have TJ Dillashaw, Corey Sandhagen, Rob Font, Jose Aldo, who just still looks amazing. Marlon Moraes, Cody Garbrandt, who's no longer in the division. Then you have Frankie Edgar, Pedro Munoz, Dominic Cruz, Marav Davishvili, Rafael Sunsao. That's just the top 12 right there. All nothing but killers. And I've said it before. The most winnable matchup in the bantamweight division top 10 right now is Frankie Edgar. It's just the facts. I mean, if you want to comment down below and let me know you think somebody else is more beatable in the top 10. Not that I'm saying Frankie Edgar is a bum or anything like that. Frankie Edgar is a very skilled fighter. And I'll even give you my early prediction on this fight in a second. But he's the most winnable matchup in that top 10, just of absolute killers. And there was talk, and I really thought this was going to happen, of putting Sean O'Malley versus Frankie Edgar. We want to see Sean O'Malley versus a ranked opponent. They want to build Sean O'Malley, but they don't want to give him too big of a leap too soon. And I think the UFC was really trying to put Sean O'Malley versus Frankie Edgar together. And Frankie Edgar is the most winnable matchup for him. And even though I would have favored Frankie Edgar in that fight, it's just Sean O'Malley, his height and reach, and he's younger and he's faster. It would have been a chance for Sean O'Malley to really prove the haters wrong, in a sense. He would have been able to get a win over a top 10 guy, a known guy, a former champion, get a name on the resume. And supposedly there were some negotiating issues. Sean O'Malley has talked about it a little bit. Also, he didn't want to fight in New York. He wanted to wait until December and fight in Las Vegas or whatever, something like that. And now the UFC said, okay, you don't want that fight? That's a great fight for you to promote yourself. It's a winnable fight. It's a manageable fight. A big name. Okay, we'll give it to Marlon Vera. So Marlon Vera gets this fight against Frankie Edgar, and this is a massive fight for him. It's maybe not going to draw casuals in or anything like that. The hardcores will appreciate it. But for Marlon Vera, it means a lot. If he can get a quality win over a guy like Frankie Edgar, that propels him right into the top 10 of the division. And I just think this is a massively missed opportunity for Sean O'Malley. I think he should have jumped on this Frankie Edgar fight. I think it made the most sense for him. And now I wonder, who is Sean O'Malley going to fight next? I know he's talked about he doesn't even want to fight ranked guys because of contract issues. But let me know what you guys think in the comments of all this. Before I go, I'm going to tell you my early prediction for this fight. I think Frankie Edgar gets it done. I know he's getting older. I know, people were questioning his chin, but his durability still, I think, is good. Corey Sandhagen, that flying knee, nobody could have survived that. His stamina, his wrestling, his boxing, he's so well-rounded. And I just don't think Marlon Vera looked all that good in his last two fights against Jose Aldo and against Davey Grant. I think Frankie Edgar gets the job done, and I think Marlon Vera kind of gets pushed to that, between 10 and 15 ranking. He stays there, and he doesn't make that leap. I just don't think he has what it takes. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do me a favor, like the video. I greatly appreciate it. If you're not subscribed, make sure you're subscribed, and I will see you in the next video.